Good afternoon. This is your spring equinox tarot reading and energy update. Welcome. I call this Messages from Gaia at Winter's End, the growing tree. So again, this spread is messages from Gaia, Mother Earth, that we can receive at this winter's end. And it's called the growing tree spread as it is in the shape of a tree. So we start at the bottom of the spread, and that's what you're leaving behind in the cold, dark of the winter, underground. And then we move forward and we see what growth and bloom that you can expect to see pop up and thrive. I pulled these cards ahead of time, so we were all set to go because there is a lot of energies to unpack in this spread. As I said, it's from, what we've been through this winter and heading up into spring and a little bit of summer as well. And these are the energies that we're working with. Like I said, we started here at the bottom with the Page of Swords. So her being here, this card can represent a moment in our past when it would have been the right thing for you to speak the truth. The question here is, did you? This is not a passive card, and you can usually relate to one or more instances from your childhood or the recent past, maybe something that happened over this winter, when it was up to you to operate with integrity and speak your truth and tell the truth in order to have that justice granted. This page also likes to ask a lot of questions. So the presence of this energy would be a sign that possibly you found yourself in some circumstances that you were a bit annoying to the people around you. Maybe you were constantly questioning things and challenging everyone's ideas. Simple things like, oh yeah, the sky is blue. No, it's not. While you were possibly trying to understand the situation or a concept better, maybe you were a little intimidated by something that you didn't know and you were asking extra questions. There could be more constructive and non-threatening ways that you could have gone about it, basically. So you could have used sentences like, help me to understand, take a breath, try to really work on your communication and be conscious of how you come across to others. And maybe take that breath and only challenge or question those ideas that are really, truly important to you and that will resonate with you. And it's something that's true to your heart or something that you can grow from. Not be so flippant about having those types of conversations. And I also get energy from this card as well that you need to work on not giving unsolicited advice. Maybe when you're entering a space, read the room. See what's going on in that room. Maybe it's not the time to talk about that deeper conversation that you've just had brewing inside of you for a while. And be mindful to not use your words in judgment of others. Sometimes that judgment or that tough love advice is completely warranted, and sometimes it's a completely appropriate time to say that, and it can really help someone. But other times, more often than not, it does more harm than good. This card also speaks to me of the intuitive abilities and gifts that possibly have laid dormant this winter, and maybe some of them started coming out a bit for the first time in your life, and they were being brought to the surface. The events of your past, from last year, what you went through last year, they're leading you to activity. They're leading you to make active choices. And the time now is to carve out your own path. It's here. So, if you want to move forward up that tree, now's the time to begin. Take those lessons. The page also could represent that possibly you were a little bit defensive. Possibly your defenses were up. There was a lot going on this winter, understandably so. And, these defenses, they're there to guard that wounded heart, that Three of Swords that isn't here, the earlier card. in this suit. That heart needs healing. And, you know, this page, and when you're going through that healing stage, you guard yourself from the feedback that others give you. So that's why I said sometimes that those unnecessary advice, sometimes people are not ready to hear it, and this holds them back. It really does. But they'll hear it when the time is right. Sometimes this signifies that maybe you're one of those people that pretends that you're fine and everyone else has the issue, because that's the easier way out. It's hard to work through all that pain. It takes work. But if this page could lower those defenses when they're in a place that's safe, when they're around people that are safe and that they can trust, this openness would really move him right into the next step past those blockages, because otherwise he's just going to keep repeating that pattern. And, if the more open-minded that he becomes, the easier it is for him to ascend and to go up this tree again. I've noticed a lot of this energy in the air too. It's the law of attraction, but there's a little bit of lack matrix in the air right now. Some of it understandably so, but people are taking that law of attraction, and that energy is so strong that it's the law of attraction reversed. They're reversing the energies. They're detracting. Our thoughts affect our beliefs immensely. And this causes a ripple effect in our reality. We'll talk more about that up in the Fool card, that beautiful ripple. But, if you're wanting good things to come into your life and to come your way, take on that positive, confident mindset, like the Page of Swords, in his glory. That's what he is. By focusing on what you desire and not what you lack, you will attract good things to you like a magnet. So again, if you're continuously focusing on what you lack, there is no room there for abundance. You have to release some of that. You have to let it go to make room for that new energy to flood in. A lot of us went through a lot of growth. A lot of us did a lot of releasing this past year, and give yourself a round of applause. Kudos to you. But there were no shortage of problems this winter too. Growth probably came our way in the form of problems, dilemmas, issues, and those challenges probably weren't your favorites. Most of the time you probably said, thanks, but no thanks. I've been there, done that. I have had enough. But the Page of Swords asks you to embrace these challenging and difficult situations, because they're probably not completely over. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but there's more to come. And that's the way it is if you want to grow. It's not always pretty. The Page of Swords asks you to embrace these difficult situations. Think of them as trials designed to test your strength, to test your mettle, to see if you can hack it. If you accept and prevail, you will be more strong and resilient. And each challenge that you meet, you're encouraged to use the tools that the whole sword suit has, all of the lessons that you've learned. Honest, reason, integrity, fortitude. These are all wonderful things. And, this also speaks to energies of a younger child too, or someone who's young at heart. Those are, that's an important tool in life as well. Children always speak the truth. They act upon ethical behavior. They're not jaded in any way. They don't get easily discouraged, and their mind is continuously open, and they're always curious and learning new things. You're likely to have trouble trying to get in touch with your inner child. That's definitely difficult, but you can infuse so much into your life if you behave from that perspective, if you look at things from that perspective in your mind. Fill your spirit with learning, discovery, and just all kinds of mental acrobatics, like going from one idea to the next. Let it all flow together. use your mind and enjoy the delights of the intellect. Open that book. Remember when you first started to learn to read, but not just when you formed the sounds together. It was when you fell into that story and you just couldn't put the book down. You kept turning those pages. Think of it like that. Get into that energy. And this is a perfect time for us to move up to the next card. So next we have our Emperor. I would first like to note that this card did come up for our monthly tarot video, an energy update that we did. And I did further explore some energies of the Aries season. It would take a bit too long to get into it with this spread. So check it out. There's a little bit of Mars moving into Gemini energies that probably correspond a little bit with our page and some energies there. This Emperor card also is just a perfect card to give us the beautiful insight into the start of spring and all of the nature of this energy that we have today. Aries is often thought of as the first sign. So, we know it rules the first house of the chart. For many religious and cultural groups, spring is the start of the year, energetically and calendar-wise. So this card, obviously, divinely perfect for my spirit guides to have me pull this one today. It appeared perfectly. This Emperor is pretty cool. Lots of red, lots of fire energy. He wants us to use this energy to blaze new trails. Perfect for a way to start spring, right? To explore new mountain peaks. This Emperor describes a state where we find ourselves in this place where we're completely driven to achieve, explore, go where no one has ever gone before. This energy is a chance for us to grow. So in terms of those goals that you have already set for yourself, a lot of people, when they start the year, they try to come up with a good plan. The Emperor would definitely do that. He would come up with his plan and maybe even a 5-year plan, but, start small. It presents as a successful future when you see him sitting there. He's already embodied that energy of his goals coming true. He's sitting there relaxed and letting everything play out because he's got it all planned out. He knows what he's doing. He's very confident that it will work. He's been methodical. He's used his strategies, everything, Also, when you see him here, he's overlooking, he's kind of looking out. He's possibly a sign that somebody could be put in charge of something important. So maybe there's a promotion at work or a situation that you are put into where you have, perfectly align yourself with the energies for this position. It could be in your work, any kind of an organization, a group, an institution. And oftentimes you'll see that it's a place that was probably not doing so hot. Maybe it's a place that just was barely eking by to survive with everything that's been going on in the world lately and the economy and such. And they need order. They need this clear, decisive mind that the Emperor holds in his energy. You can be called to act in the place of the Emperor and use your special wisdom that you uniquely have to bring clarity to the project or the job or the position, what have you. On the other side, sometimes the Emperor is more focused on things that he shouldn't. He sometimes puts too many things on his list. He gets a little irritated easily and storms off. So sometimes he does have difficulty manifesting. So if this is something that you experienced this winter, and now you're coming into the spring and you want to start fresh. Sometimes we find that visualizing is easy, but that implementing part is where we really get stuck. We really get hung up. This fiery Aries energy can help you move that. It can help you move it along, and even your spiritual energies. Maybe you've been with that page. You've been up in your crown chakra. You've been doing a lot of work and downloading a lot of information, and now you want to bring it out into the world somehow. You want to be a leader in a group and share that information with everyone. Age of Aquarius, do it. This fiery energy that we're coming into will definitely help you. Aries energy is the gate. It's a portal to creating the life that you want with purpose. It's the first sign of the zodiac, like we said before. So that's the first energy of manifestation. That makes sense. Number one at the top. Prove that you have what it takes and plan and manifest your own destiny. You can do it. Remember, hopefully you'll have learned those lessons from last season, last year, as we said, the Page of Swords. If you didn't heed that call, it's okay. There's still time. This card can possibly say that maybe you didn't heed that call because you were more concerned with the outcome than actually how to get it done. Maybe you were a little bit controlling of the outcome. And sometimes this can show that maybe this person is in your life or its energy's coming from you, or, your fallback go-to space. You were controlling. And rather than being objective and being detached, as the Emperor is seen when he's in his glory, when he's in his full self, this card says that, maybe there were some emotional motivations and biases within your interactions and communications with people. Rather than honoring the autonomy of others, this Emperor in his negative space, he possibly manipulated or forced his will onto others. As a collective, I think this speaks to some issues that we have going on in our world today too. The imbalance with the divine masculine, but that's a whole nother video and tarot reading. So just, respect and honor others' sovereignty along with your own. Find your own personal authority, your own personal sovereignty. Don't spend too much time worrying about others. And, on the other hand, don't be shy in taking command of situations. Maybe you've been in this situation that you've seen the imbalance and you didn't say anything. So take charge, step up. Maybe you're the perfect person for the job to be able to change people's minds about things. Fight against that imposter syndrome. Ignore that idea that, you have the skills, you have the accomplishments, but don't listen to that voice that says you're not good enough. The Emperor is here to tell you that you do have the ability to succeed. So any goals or plans that you have, like, look at him. Like I said, he's already confident. He's sitting there like he already is living the dream. Whether he has it right in this instant or not, it's coming from his being, from the fire within him. So believing that you aren't capable is just not serving you, Use that fire energy to burn down all of that, disbelief in yourself. Embrace your authority and your expertise. You have everything. The Emperor at his best in his wider state of mind is truly in league. He's in league with the forces of the universe. He is the element of fire. He is also, I should also mention, he's the male counterpart to the Empress. The Empress Tarot card is a beautiful card, one of my favorites. And I would have to say that another tarot reader that I watch, she always says there's a card that's missing here, and she would definitely, the Empress would be it. But we do notice her energies and all of the lovely earthiness of the other cards and the Venus energies, and we'll get into all of that. A lot of nurturing and birthing and growth and abundance. So those energies are here. My beautiful flowers there. The Emperor is here as the divine masculine counterpart. Mars is the ruler of Aries and the Emperor card, by the way. And he was in love with Venus. So that's a whole nother story. But he's here to balance out those divine feminine energies and the energies of Mother Earth. His cardinal fire masculine energy is here as the divine masculine initiator of spring. So he represents the organized principles, the physical and the earthy world. And they're acting as his hands and his mouthpiece, bringing forth wonders that we've never seen and barely imagined. But he has them all in his mind. He's cutting a trail bravely into the unknown that will lead to the new paradigm, the new world, the new perspective, whatever you want to call it. As you create with him, allow yourself to really push into that process. So Follow your personal visions and your goals that we talked about, but don't forget to lose yourself a bit in that process too. You know, the getting there is really fun too. And sometimes the emperor, he wants to charge forward, but find joy in the little things that you do in the day to day, rather than trying to move ahead, get there first, prove something to somebody. Remember that balance. Put those to-do lists aside every once in a while. It's okay. And remember to truly enjoy life. And most importantly, do whatever you want, because that's what he would do too. And that is perfect to go into our Three of Cups. Beautiful. The Three of Cups is a very celebratory card, This card is calling for a toast, a bit of a toast. Now, maybe you've started that celebrating a little bit with St. Patrick's Day. This is a time with your friends and your family, and there's something going forward even more that you will have the chance to celebrate. A personal accomplishment, a goal that you set out, a new perspective, all of those changes that you've made this winter. You're going to be going out and showing them to the world, sharing them with other people. This card is full of abundance, and it's an abundance of love and joy and creativity. It represents positive gatherings and celebrations of close friendships. This is the power of friendship, the support of your sisters and your mothers and your aunts and your friends. This is the embodiment of the mother and the maiden and the crone. They're sharing their wisdom and love to unite in a beautiful dance. So seek that energy out. And then when you find it, give it to those who need it too. Have some fun with your dear kindred spirits. Blow off some steam. Dance under the moon. Do whatever you have to do. Magic flows from this shared energy. So be open to creative inspiration and new insights into, the way you perceive the world and your own heart and your mind and your intuition. We can take it as a sign that this is pretty good for success. But we always remember that success is at its best when you share it. You don't always want to be sitting alone like the emperor with your accomplishments. You want to share those with other people because that's what it's all about, right? This could be manifested through, a little girls' night out, a vacation, book club, a night with the coven, a simple dinner party, and, whatever you can do safely, depending upon where you are, obviously. When we see this Three of Cups, this means that it really is time for you to change your perspective, to take charge of how you express your love for others, too. Possibly it's been taking an emotional toll on you. Possibly this time that you had spent alone this winter, maybe that, that's changing how you look at the people that you surround yourself with and the ones that you really want to see and the ones that maybe you would rather let go of. Maybe they don't resonate with you anymore. This can also have repercussions on your creativity at work too. Not working within that group for a while. Maybe it prevented you from expressing yourself and your passion through that type of a channel. So this card would say that now would be a good time to join forces with like-minded people, like-minded women, and create that positive environment around you where that creativity will be allowed to flourish. It will be seen, it will be heard, it will be shared. Enjoyment, nurturance, friendship, and celebration abound. I love this card. It's just that beautiful purple. It's so calming, but at the same time, it's loving and it's exciting and joyful. It's truly an emotionally abundant card. The gifts of the heart are rich and plentiful and should be nurtured with the utmost care. Those deep connections that you're starting to make now in this beautiful new spring and after you've weeded out your friends list, perhaps, they're so precious, they're so rare, and take care of them, mind them, make sure that you are grateful for those people that you have in your life and let them know it. There's this new beautiful type of harmony that's present right now. This is a time to freely communicate your feelings, invite that intimacy into your life. Maybe you realized how much that you need that you never thought you would. If you've been holding back from sharing your heart with someone, now is the time. Know that this will be coming from a place of pure love, and it's true. And no matter what the outcome, it's a gift that needs to be shared and celebrated. So this is just such a sweet card to get in this space here as we go into spring and summer. It enriches your soul. So make sure that you enjoy this. Um, you know, look back on what you've accomplished. You've accomplished something great. Celebrate it. There's this beautiful harvest. These women are celebrating after they've worked so hard. And while you're not actually harvesting produce, or you might be as well this spring and summer, everyone's starting their little seedlings in their garden. But this year will bear all kinds of fruit for you. And it calls for a celebration now, a celebration for the opportunities that you have to be able to even do this and to be able to grow through everything that you've been through. This card in the future gives you, it's that something to look forward to as well. Celebrate that you have that opportunity to look forward. And any efforts that you're making now will definitely pay off. And that's as long as you remember to keep that balance between work and rest and play and celebration. And I'm also getting a message from this card too, to reconnect with some of those friends and colleagues that you've lost touch with. Because you never know where they could lead you in the future. You never know how their perspectives have changed and they've got something new and abundant to share with you, and they could lead you down a completely different path in the future. You might be meeting members of your new soul tribe that will be around for a long time and will create a lot of abundance and inspiration for you. So that leads us into this beautiful Fool card. Oh, look at her. She's just absolutely gorgeous. A little amethyst. Goes nicely with mine. This card is 0. A perfect oval, which can also be read as a seed or an egg. Another perfect card to pull for today. Also, she represents the cosmic egg of nothingness. So there's that nothingness, but yet that pure potential from which every card that we see afterwards in the deck, it springs from here. It is springtime, so that's perfect. The world is brimming with new life. Potential is bursting forth everywhere. This Fool is a spring chicken. She's bringing this fresh energy bursting forward. It's invigorating. It's alive. She's standing atop this high cliff. And look at how she's perfectly balanced, but she knows she's not going to fall. She's got that yellow dress on. She's full of confidence and brightness. This also brings to mind, it's like the dawn of a new day. I see that light rising from her. Where might this new day and this fresh blooming energy take you? It's very exciting. This card is pure unbridled potential. So, in order for that potential to take shape, there's some risks that are going to be taken. We need to take those risks, but look at that Emperor. He is not afraid of taking risks. Taking a leap doesn't always guarantee you that favorable outcome. And that's why I said the Emperor, don't try to control that outcome so much, because that's where you get stuck. The Fool just leaps, because she knows if you never leap, you're just going to stay stuck on that precipice. You'll never fully immerse yourself in all that the life has to offer. So as a strategy, because, the Emperor, he loves his strategies, I would have to say that this card is telling you to avoid that common path. He wants you to blaze a new trail. The Fool card, it's all about blazing a new trail. Go down that path that nobody else has gone down. Take the energies of spring. Find new viewpoints, new ideas. Sometimes even shocking concepts, different beliefs or views, maybe something that is different from what you even thought that you would do. And different from everybody around you. maybe you might have some people that disagree with you, but that only means that you're on the right path. You know, the Fool is, there's this crazy wisdom that you get when you tap into those Fool energies, and it can often like shock you into a new state of consciousness, but in a good way. It wakens you up. It wakes you from that sleep, that slumber that we've had this winter. The Fool will definitely wake you up. It's this state of consciousness that works completely on impulse alone. So the Fool's very impulsive. It doesn't allow external energies to influence it either. It's all on that inner gut feeling. Everything comes from within with this card. And there's that energy of, don't be concerned with yesterday or tomorrow. Be in the now. That's where she is. She's telling you to just be in the now. It's always in that now, that one moment that gives way to the next. The Fool wants you to just keep your attention here, in that present moment. This is such a lovely card. Here we have the sacred geometry here at the bottom, and this is that infinite universal energy. It's that creative force that animates the entire universe and ripples out and repeats, and without this undirected universal energy, you couldn't, no other manifestations of creation would be possible. This is it. This is where it starts. The Fool is the Ouroboros. In my end is my beautiful beginning. And also, as I said, it's a perfect card to pull for today because this is associated with fertility. So maybe there's new things that you're birthing. Maybe there's children that you're birthing. Maybe there's new creative projects. Maybe it's a new outlook on life. Maybe it's a new art project. Whatever it is. This is the primal energy of spring. It's birth. It's rebirth. It's transformations from what you've learned through the winter. What you've celebrated. And what you learned through that celebration of your accomplishments, looking back, life reviews. Again, it's just that rebirth and that transformation, and how much that can really change your future path, sometimes in an instant. One good example of rebirth would be Jesus dying on the cross and rising again from the dead, another message of this time of year. The Fool also refers to Green Man and spring, again with the message of fertility. Let's see, what else? Oh, the Fool also, like I said, it's that awakening. So the Fool can represent our unawakened Kundalini energies that are waiting to rise. It's again with that spiral imagery, that sacred geometry, that Ouroboros. And as we begin April, on April Fool's Day, that's the Fool's Day, perhaps we can see an opportunity, or perhaps we can set off on a new path to make that leap of faith into the great and wild unknown this season, this spring and this summer. And remember that no matter the outcome of each of these experiences along our path, everywhere that you are is exactly what you need to be doing at the time. You are precisely divinely placed where you're supposed to be. So even if you get so lost that you just can't even fathom where you are and how you wound up here, believe that just like that rabbit going on an adventure, bursting out of its burrow in spring, you'll come back around. You'll find your way back home. Let yourself spring from one ending into the next moment and be flooded with that joy. This is that point after, there was a lot of loss this winter. There really was. But that's behind us. Everything is about to begin again. Some people say that perhaps, when you're going through loss and when you're going through that negativity, sometimes people will see that Fool energy and they'll say the Fool is naive. The Fool is wearing rose-colored glasses. The Fool is what have you. But the fool is not. The fool is not really the fool. That maybe perhaps isn't the correct term. Um, the sum total of her, her epic adventures that she's been on, the experiences that she's been through, whether they were, clearly not always positive, sometimes painful, or incredibly positive, they have led the fool to arrive here. And she's got this world of wisdom that she's learned along the way. And she can combine that with that beautiful bliss of the inner child, that love and that desire to forge down those new paths, those curious adventures, and to begin wholly anew. The fool is the energy of that magic that allows the entire adventure to come into being. So, yeah, just this card, a few ending notes is, I would just say, this card nudges you to open your heart. Just open that heart. Look at those beautiful crystals behind us. Those are all great for heart openings. Trust that whatever happens as you set out, that there's a meaningful and an epic journey ahead. Follow your heart ever onward. And that leads us to our page. It's a beautiful card too. I love that mandala, all of that earth energy, and again with the fire, with the bright colors, and so beautiful. This this page is the element of earth works in favor of this time. It really is new growth, new seeds, slow and steady development forward. Slow and steady wins the race, right? And this card can mean everything from our economy, as we're kind of, depending on where you are, opening back up again, starting new business plans, working things out differently, and just having fresh eyes to it. It's very youthful and healthy energy. Your health is getting better. You're getting out. You're getting some vitamin D. This page is beautifully balanced right in the center of that mandala. And she's pointing towards you. She's pointing that mandala towards you. She's looking, but she's pointing it towards you as she looks to the side. She's pointing you towards this path of maybe fragile new beginnings. Maybe, this is definitely something that you're a little bit unsteady with, but you're going to continue for these new beginnings. You're going to journey through the 78 passageways of growth. You've embraced that energy, and you should, and you will as we go forward, because you've learned, and through the Fool, probably you learned this quite a bit, and through celebrating with your friends, your magical friends, that the magic is in your hands, and you can make your dreams become a reality. This is that level on the cycle of change where you learn to nurture those seeds. Like I said, we're planting the seeds. Those seeds of intuition. You'll find that maybe you've taken an interest in self-care, and you're beginning to value those material objects that are around you, and ways that you can use them towards your growth. Your own self-worth, you're valuing that. You're valuing the people in your life. You're valuing your good health and your prosperity and everything around you. And you're reaching for that magical while you still remember to stand tall, stand grounded, and keep those values of self-worth and integrity as you go down this path. This page is the Master of Earth in the court card. So, this speaks of your feeling very reliable, hardworking, moving. This could also speak to someone that's entering into your life that is behaving this way too. This spells big success, no matter how you look at it. But remember to stay focused and grounded in what you're setting out to achieve. The page is youthful, and this might talk about someone entering your life that maybe helps you to find that balance between your fun and your serious side. Maybe that's something that you find within yourself through contemplation, or maybe you meet somebody that reminds you that it's okay to laugh until the tears run down your face, and then you can get back to work tomorrow. This card's also appropriate for us to get in this spread too, because it represents the sign of Taurus. So that is after Aries at the end of April. And Taurians embody stability. They like to just stand like this guy here, or sit in a patch of grass and just admire the breeze. You'll notice that if you're embodying this energy, or people around you, maybe through this chaos that we went through in the past year, and we're still continuing to, there's still a lot of chaos swirling around us. You'll see that somebody who embodies this energy will be that oasis of calm in the midst of the chaos. A rock, somebody that you can always count on. And maybe that's you. Maybe your friends, your Three of Cups, they're celebrating that in you. Very practical knowledge and experience, and that's their modus operandi. That's how they roll. Taurians, the energy of this card, they're very immersed in the physical world. They tend to be very grounded, very logical. They love their routine. They like the comforts of home around them, but they're patient and steady, and their materialism is just an extension of creating that stability and security around them, and the things that they value around them. This is also reminds me that Venus is going into Taurus. She's quite happy. She'll get there about mid-April. So that card's taking us into that time. Like I said, this spread is a bit of summer energies too. Venus has a strong relationship to our second house. And so that, again, goes with this card. Like, things we value come into play. Our own self-worth, things that we possess, our investments, our real estate, how we earn our income. All of these things they're leveling up. How we attract money, our financial gain. Remember, I talked about, like, we've learned that maybe we're not going to be in that lack matrix anymore. Maybe we're looking at things from a completely new perspective of abundance. And, Venus in Taurus tends to reflect on that. What's material, what's real, what's of value. And they like things that are tangible. They like things that you can touch and see and feel and hold. And this card also speaks to me of gardening, a lot of earthy things, a lot of this person, maybe you're getting into gardening, or you've met someone that's really, really connecting with gardening. This page, they watch, they tend to their garden, they learn, and they've gained that mastery of the art of the garden. Got all those beautiful colors. And I see lots of imagery of flowers and green grass and blue sky. They use all the elements to grow that beautiful garden, and they're fully adept, and their land's beautiful and abundant. And this speaks to our process of learning and creating, and that mastery, it's never at an end. You're always that fool, like starting again on a new adventure. And maybe you're also feeling after this difficult winter that you can't see progress. Sometimes people are having difficult with not seeing that progress right away. And again, focusing only on the failures and the things that we lack. So it's essential right now to remember to honor these cycles, to get that perspective on exactly where you are. Look back, just a little bit, just to see, how many steps you've actually made and how it led you to where you are now. Things that maybe you planted, those seeds that you planted years ago, may only now be coming to fruition. Like, I feel like this could be a message of something that maybe you started a really long time ago, that, a business plan or something, and somebody contacts you, or maybe an application that you applied for a job or a loan or something, all of a sudden you'll find that that just comes through. You get approved. We've weathered all the different storms of life, and we've experienced loss and we've experienced growth. And this page is here to remind us to again, as this wheel of the year turns, embark upon the learning. As we turn towards the sun and the warmth, be open to try something new, to take on those new projects, to set those new goals. Don't be let down by your focus on the past. This earth messenger, it's someone here, whether that's someone that you meet or like I said, you're embodying this energy. Sometimes these lessons are difficult to grasp. Sometimes the messages, they're really sudden new beginnings, and you can't quite understand what they mean. But remember that Fool energy and just kind of go with it. And you'll see that this season, and with the stuff that's going on in the stars right now as well, unexpected, lovely surprises and beginnings. So, anything's possible when this Page of Pentacles appears in a reading. It really is just so beautiful. She's quietly, as the seeds bloom, she's beginning to understand the manifesting power that she holds. The power to give life to new ideas, to activate magic, to take our hopes and desires and to pull that energy up from the earth and bring them to form. Let them blossom, root down into the details of the work, but keep your head up in those beautiful blue sky and those clouds behind her. Bridge that earth and that air, that Aquarius energy. Be innovative, birth new things, bring those ethereal visions down to the material realm and start down a new beautiful path. Final notes with this beautiful spread here.